as to who he was. But here we go. Here we go. We're jumping into our series and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Vermeer. We have the Brood War Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran. We have the Red Terran. It is Dice. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Teal Zerg player. The Teal Zerg player himself, the South Korean Zerg. It is SHIN. I'll fix up the names. Hold on. SHIN. Gotta get my teal going. Beautiful. And here we go. We're getting to our fresh series here again. Welcome to Vermeer. Vermeer is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top right, top left, and bottom right as well. Checking our spawn locations, Dice, he's aware of 2 locations here on the right-hand side of the map. SHIN is aware of the likewise same locations as well. SHIN opening up with a cross-spawn scout with his drone. Meanwhile, Dice has yet to move out with any worker, just going CC first. So a bit of a greedier build here, which is more common on these larger maps. Much more common. I mean, hey, we saw Homono go CC first as well. Dice doing the same here. Does CC first. Behind this, again, it's still quite common, still quite meta to go into 3x stim timing, so we'll see if that is going to be the case here. If we go for extra Raxes, there we go. We have a second Rax, and we're leaning towards a third Rax as well. We were discussing how there has been a bit of a shift in the meta when it comes to Brood War Protoss kind of openers and builds, and how we've been seeing some more gateway play. When it comes to Terran, it's been the case for like 2 years now, but yeah, still the case. 3x stim, let's go. Let's always and forever, pappy. Of course, has been announced in the PTR that some of the production of Terran is going to be changed and adjusted and ideally improved for Brood War Terran coming into the mid to late game. But that'll be showcased sometime in the future in the PTR events, which we'll most likely cover ourselves. We'll cover them. The SAS theme is that you're flying on a flying battle cruiser or a starship of some kind. Oh, there you go. The mothership before mothership. True. Huh. As Dice now does move out with his first scout across the map, back at home, just hatch gas pool into it. Sorry. Say hatch gas pool. Gases open out of SHIN, very greedy, going gasless, going into late gases himself. This typically does mean that we're going into either heavy roach play or potentially even skipping into lair tech into mutas. The reasoning for this is because your gases are so late, you just skip link speed. You skip link speed, and to be safe, especially against a 3x sim timing, we're leaning more towards taking gases and going for a roach one into a roach heavy style, and that can obviously snowball out control, leading into ultra tech down the line. So there's that roach one. Again, this is just a very SE2 coded opener here from SHIN. Going for his gas. Going for his roach horn. And by the time that Dice gets across the map, there should be plenty of roaches to defend. Should be. As Dice is starting to be active, as Stim is at this point getting it to halfway done. The nostalgia. As Dice commits, he gets spotted by the Overlord. SHIN back at home is getting ready. Roaches are amassing. The creep is a little bit lacking here, connecting the bases, but regardless, there's going to be plenty of roaches here. We have the lair on the way. That'll be for roach speed. And there are 5, soon to be 7 roaches and 2 queens to defend. Dice still looking for a way in. Does catch 2 active tumors. Roaches, they hold their own, and SHIN defends. Actually, he does hold, he does defend. Behind this, we do have U238 shells on the way. Every time. Oh no, Dice, no! What have you done? Smurge, papi, smurge. I was gonna say that that the armory sound it elicits it sparks joy. Elicits deep core memories from my childhood. But feels bad, man, to kill the Ursidon. Behind this is going to be reinforcing across the map. Again, the Overlord sees everything needs to see, so Shin has full eyes on the reinforcements. That will prompt Shin to make more roaches. Roach speed has now begun, and trying to break through all the roaches here is going to be very difficult here for Dice. Thankfully, he is going to be taking up behind this and refining his army. We have siege mode on the way, building up into bio tank. Eventually, this bio army here, I don't think we'll find too much damage, but hey, we can at least fight for creep threat. True, we can fight for map control, deny creep, maybe catch an Overlord, and ideally catch a couple of roaches. We're sharking around. Oh. Oh. Does break in. Does break in. Catching at a couple of drones. Oh, sorry, a couple of tumors. Meanwhile, we spoke earlier how roaches typically lead into ultra tech, and there it is. We have the infestation bit. This should be for some safety infestors, then into hive tech, then into ultras. That's going to be a massive power spike here for Shin, and we'll see if Dice can keep up. See if he can keep up. We'll see if he can find some damage. So far, I mean, he's been very active, but tumors are all that Dice has really found so far. Drop on the right hand side. Oh. Breaks in. Oof. Yeah, nice big ups here. Catching our Marines, catching our medics as well. Yeah, very nice catch out of Shin. Does give chase. At the same time, we have the drop moving forward, trying to find some damage. But these are some heavy losses here for Dice, losing all the medics. Back at home, there are some lingering reinforcements. The slow things, let's go. Just in the air, we have the slow things to defend. They're in position. Do we force a pickup? We do. As Marines are being cleaned up, they get dealt with. Yo, slowlings, they're cracked, man. They're cracked. There's that hive on the way. So we have 3 safety infestors into hive tech, into ultras. And Dice is still trying to build up here. Claiming his third, building up his tank counts. But we're a ways away from really securing this position. Researching spider mines. I'm still on the fence when it comes to some of the new art. I think this was added relatively recently. Some of the new upgrade art. I'm on the fence with the spider mine. Ah. Clearly had a different. Clearly had a trauma of a different kind, or it's a blocking my building kind. Nah. I don't know why, but the academy sound that's ingrained into me. I mean, there's a lot of really iconic sounds from it. We speak about this every. I feel like we speak about this every time we talk about SC Evo, but for whatever reason, like a lot of the, at least personally, I feel like a lot of the sounds used, whether it's sound effects or whether it's voice lines, like feel a little more memorable to me than in SC2. A little more iconic. Maybe it's partially because like it was exposed to me at a younger age, so that like that hit a little bit harder, or maybe something else. As Shin, his Ultra Cavern is now done, and we have Ultra upgrades on the way. Kindness waiting. We have Kindness waiting. As I mentioned before, like the big power spike for Shin is going to be Ultra Tech, and the Ultras are on the horizon. Back at home, we have Dice setting up back at home. I mean, he does have a couple of tanks. He's working towards a Radiate. That will help. The concern here is just how many science vessels are we going to have in time for the Ultra timing, right? Like, Ultras are already building up. They're already on the way. By the time Shin hits, what will Dice have ready? It's got a decent tank line. We do need some city though, as we have that switch into mech. 3 more factories on the way. So far, Shin started stepping in. Oof. Catching out more bio, catching out more medics. Fungals, they're also on the horizon. We don't even need them. We go for it anyway, sure, why not? catching up the army, and here come the ultras. Hopefully SHIN does calm down a little bit. And needs to wait for reinforcements. At the same time, dice across the map. But there's plenty to defend. Yeah, Lings are back at home. I will say the siege line here is looking quite solid. We have, what, 6 tanks? 6 tanks. Some okay SimCity, creating some choke points. Microbial Shout is almost done. And the goal here is to Microbial Shout and then just bust on through. Bust on in. How many ultras do we have? Only 3. Only 3 ultras. Here come the Shrouds. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. Yeah, throws down all the Shrouds. Ultras, they try to bust in. But once again, there's only 3 ultras and we're stuck with aim of attacking buildings. Shit. Shit, we gotta go. We're running out of the Shrouds. Yeah, it's a little bit of awkward execution there at the SHIN, but he still breaks through the first tank line. Oh my god. Cleans up most of the bio. Yeah, bunkers are going down with that. The Marines have been broken. We do still have 2 tanks here at the natural. At the same time, DICE does counterattack, but only with a handful of Marines. Yeah, there's only a handful across the map. Ultras are still wreaking havoc. They bust into the mineral line. SCVs will finally start going down. And this is getting out of hand. It was a little bit messy when it comes to the execution, but still breaks the 3rd expansion, denies mining. Back at home, we have Corruptors on the way that will help against the science vessels. And we've rebuilt our 3 ultras. Built it back up. Setting up for a doom job. Okay, let's go. Yo, the slow dropper lord. Send it, pappy, send it. Pneumatized carapace is on the way. And SHIN is remaxed. SHIN is rebuilt, he's remaxed. Getting ready for the next wave, the next push. This time we do have a field of spider mines, and that will help, for sure. Likewise, there are going to be 2 irradiates with DICE and science vessels. So we have a handful of irradiates. Oh, Jesus. The spider mines. Looks like it can fly. I think for me, the upgrade visual use of the spider mine, it just looks a little bit too round, like a little bit too bulbous. That's what I'm used to. I could be misremembering, but I believe like in Brood War it's just a little bit thinner. But here we go. We do smash in, a radiate here on the Corruptors. Despite that, Banelings, they did connect. Still a better trade for SHIN. That was our trade. Again, we have our attempted mech transition. Oh god, and here comes that doom drop. A drop. There's not that much left. No! The Ultra does not land. Does not unload. Some expensive losses here for SHIN. This job was not worth it. As things are 44, there we go, drop into the mineral line, forcing friendly fire. 10 workers going down. Once again, SHIN overextending a little bit here, throwing away an Ultralisk. So again, a little bit messy towards the end. But SHIN has map control. The reality here, he has map control. He can make what he wants. He has 98 workers. And we can just keep hammering away at the 3rd base. And eventually, DICE will break. Now, specifically in SC Evo, I believe the resources in the bases are a little bit higher. So that does allow DICE to maintain its position for a little bit longer. But despite that, I mean, we're still mining out. Like, it's still getting to that point. Shin is baiting out as many mine shots as he can. Baiting out the spider mines. And now we commit. We'll collapse in. We do have a couple of microbial shrouds. Yeah, the ultra pushes forward to have the irradiate at least. And the ultras will eventually go down. So nice use of irradiates. Oof. Once again, the Marines, they do fall. Vultures, they hold their own. And do we get into the mineral line? We try to get in. But not this time. Oof. Gee, oh my god. Yeah, not this time as Dicey is holding. A decent defense out of Dice, to be honest. Losing only 9 SCVs. Now we got to do that like 2 more times, 2-3 more times, and establish a 4th base as well. Which again is easier said than done. SHIN is still rallying. Still collapsing in. Oof. Yeah, so we get to the mineral line. Boys are being pulled. Workers that cannot be lost here. Yeah, some brutal losses for Dice. He'll lose every single SCV. Aye, 30, 26, 7, 8, 9, 30 SCV kills. Crazy damage here at the 4. GG gets called. And SHIN takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. SHIN looking very comfortable. Looking very comfortable here in game 1. Winding it back a little bit here. SHIN went for a gasless opener into a roach heavy start. Followed by, of course, taking up into Hive Tech, into Infestors, into Ultras, and then he snowballed out of control with his Ultra Tech. Our concerns were valid in the sense that I was concerned that the Dice wouldn't really have defense available in time to defend against the Ultras, and we saw with that microbial shot timing that SHIN, he broke through the defensive line. He broke through the defenses, he broke through the economy as well. Might not have killed Dice, but did cripple him to the point where Dice could never quite recover and keep up and have any presence on the map. I do appreciate the Dice did have some drops active, like every now and then there were medevacs or dropships across the map. They were distracting, doing some kind of damage, but it was not enough. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into Golden Wall. Let's go. One of the other older maps of the map pool from like 2020. It's been a good amount of years. It's crazy. It's been quite some time. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of Golden Wall, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself. We have the South Green Terran. It is Dice. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, bottom right hand corner, we have the opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself. It is SHIN. I'll fix up his color. Here we go as we are getting into game number 2 here. Welcome to Golden Wall. Golden Wall was one of the first maps that had this specific kind of feature to it, which was cutting the map in half with mineral patches. We saw this later on in El Dorado. We saw this later on in Alkione in more recent years and more recent times. But from my recollection, this is kind of where it began, where the map has 2 halves, 2 sides, if you will. We have the top side and the southern half instead, all cut off via the Golden Wall. So we have these golden mineral patches here throughout the center of the map. They can eventually be mined out and opened up, of course, and you can choose to expand either here on the top side or open up this Golden Wall here and expand on the bottom side instead. If we both expand on the bottom side, the rush distance by ground is very short, very short, and there has also been some cheeses and some rushes where you can mine through these patches, take the gas geyser across the map, open up this wall, and then flood in with like a link flood or with some kind of all-in. There were some niche builds which did make use of that. Likewise, because the goal base is so close, we did see a lot of Gangnam Terran back in the day as well. I say a lot, maybe not too much, but every now and then, like, we would see Terran players like lift up and float their CCs over and can take this as their own main instead, but turn that into an all-in. It'd typically be like a 4-axe all-in or something of that nature. Nowadays, it's very rare to see it in kind of Gangnam Terrans just because often the goal bases are further away. If they're a little bit closer, it's more viable to float over, but if they're further away, less so. But we'll see how Dice will change his approach, as this time it is Dice playing SE2. easy. SC2 Terran. Mining through that southern half, going for the CC. Looks like he wants to go for the lower expansions. The Ducklings. Let's go. I just appreciate the models. Meanwhile, oh my god, SHIN does take very fast 2 gases into link speed into a lair. Okay. So with a fast lair here, are we feeling 2 base muta? I'm trying to think of why we would even get a lair this quickly. Technically, Su, if you recall, Su did showcase and did popularize a build during his time, going into 2 base lurker and going for like a, I will say, going for a 4 lurker rush. But if that was the case, there'd already be a Hydrogen at this point. So leaning more towards Spire, leaning more towards 2 base muta. The Reapers, they will threaten the mineral line, denying any kind of mining. Lings, they're coming from behind, but no surround. Oof. Yeah, no surround yet. Oh my god. I spoke too soon. The slow lings. The speed lings, I should say. Speed kicks in, and with that, all 3 Reapers, they do go down. SHIN defends, and show us the Spire. There it is. Spire is on the way. 2 base muta out of SHIN. Now, Dice did scout the lair, so he should know. Again, there aren't really many options when it comes to Brood or Zerg, when it comes to what a lair could be and could entail. As I mentioned, because Hydras are hatch tech, once you see a very fast lair, then, I mean, there's only a handful of things that it could be, like some kind of weird lurker rush or like a muta rush. And that's kind of it. Oof. Yeah, things they collapse in. Marines, they will defend. Very nice defense here. Oh, that's a decent defense out of Dice as he does hold position here on top of the ramp. Still bleeds out 1 SCV. And a good chunk of Marines. And getting the stim, getting to the zone, a 3-1-1 setup on 2 bases. Dice, he is building up. And I don't see an eBay yet. It's a bit of a later eBay here from Dice, so I'm a little bit concerned. There is potential for the mutas to find some damage, even though he should have been aware of this. Should have been aware. 8 mutas now on the way. So we got, I believe, 8. Yeah, so we have 8 mutas moving out. SHIN has potential with this, as turrets are still not yet done. Remember, the eBay was delayed. Right, catching 1. Catching 2. 2 SV kills, and likewise nibbling with the Marines. It does just overwhelm. Oh my god, no turret! Yeah, no turret. Just not finishing. And Dice should hold. Dice should hold on. Despite that, though, 5 SCV kills. Very nice trades here out of SHIN, losing 1 muta so far. He's been trading well. Catching wood in mine. Oh, leads out a 2nd muta. Yeah, 2nd muta goes down. SHIN playing with fire here. Oh, losing a 3rd muta. Some expensive losses. Losing 3 muta so far. Down to 5. Despite that, still finding damage. Still able to. Likewise, we have capacity upgrades on the way. I believe that is... No, wait, no, so that'd be just... Numerous carapace. Okay, okay. No, I associated that with capacity. So numerous carapace, getting to Overlord speed. With this, we can try to work into Job Lords. But mutas are doing well for themselves. Getting all the 4 SCVs. Can we get 5? Yep. Yeah, Zeiss is trying to break out. But again, if he were to, there'd be a backstab. Muta so far successfully containing Dice. Back at home, Shin is droning. Shin droning up his third base. Getting it up and running. Oh! Mine shot does not connect. Dice, he does break out. Back at home, there's not much. There are links at the natural. Okay, here. There are links at the natural base. There are some defenses. Dice unloading early on, maybe assuming that there's a base here on the southern half. And making that assumption. Oh, right, that's why we got overload speed, of course. It's in my mind. It's been a while since we've casted Zerg and SC Evo as the mind shot goes off, but overlords are detectors, of course. The detector's back. As Dice does drop in. Drops into the main. And does nice some mining. Gets a couple of drones. Now 1, 2 drones going down. Plenty of Zerglings though. And Dice will be forced to pick up. And forced to pick up. Hive is complete. We do have, sorry. Queen's Nest is complete. Hive is on the way. From here, Shin, you can think about Ultra Tech. We do have melee upgrades in production here, so we may head towards Ultras. Otherwise, we can go even into Greater Spire into Guardian play as well. Do we get up to Guardians this game? I mean, I haven't seen Guardians in quite some time, but maybe. Oh, never mind. We just pull the boys. Okay, 2 base all in. Dicey does pull the boys, sending everything across the map. At the same time, Mutas will catch reinforcements. Nice catch. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Marines going down. It's all or nothing for Dice. Dice, he saw the hive. He's like, no shot. Like, I gotta go. And we commit to the base trade. Lanes, they flood into the mineral line. Every SCV is gonna go down. The turrets as well. And we commit, Bappy. Ooh, as colonies are not done in time. They're not done in time. Yeah, they're too little too late. Marines, they bust up into the natural. We have the Great Migration out of Dice, so we have Mutas. We have anti-air. They could be chased down. Likewise, we have some reinforcements here at the natural. But also going to be broken. Yeah, going to be broken here. Getting things up with the fire. Dice a little bit slow here to pull the trigger. Does push into the main. Pushing into the main base. Picking up a couple of Mutas here with whatever he can. No, the attempted repairs. Not good enough. At least you hear that Shin, he still has all these other bases and he has a wall of colonies. Oh my god, a wall of sunken colonies here at the northern expansions. Shin is still mining. And Dice is not. Dice is all his buildings up in the air. Both CCs are on fire. They will both fall. Buildings are about to be revealed. And again, base trading Mutas is so difficult. They're so fast, they're so agile. They will hunt down every single building. At this point, Dicey has to return to protect his buildings. There's no other way. And even then, he's racing back home. And he's racing back. He's now being revealed. We got 3 Raxes here in the center. Chelsea's 3 Raxes remaining. That's all there is left. There's there are 14 SCVs remaining as well after attacking in the main, but there's no money for a CC. Oh, nice catch. Nice catch at the Dice. Picking up some Zerglings. Oh! Nice mine shots. These Widow Mines, they do have potential, but now there's only 1 mine shot left. If we can bait the Mutas into mine shots, then Dice can win a head-on fight. Dice is relying on that. Shin moves in. Likewise, Dice, he commits. He commits up the ramp into a wall of sunken colonies. Oh no. I mean, he has to. What else can he do? He stims in. Gets behind the mineral line. Can take down the expand. Meanwhile, Mutas, they do double back around. Oh. Catching at the mine. Yeah, 0 wood mines left. We got 13 Marines. Use that poking from behind. Oh, one of the Raxes does catch fire. 2 Raxes left. Down to 2 Raxes. Yeah, Shin still has top right. Still has base mining. Still has mining, pappy. And yeah, Dice is he's just having a bit of copium here. I mean, like, as I mentioned earlier, there was a chance a couple of moments ago with his 3 Wooden Mines. If he could land those Wooden Mine connections, then he could overwhelm all the Mutas and then break through. But here, like, there's just too much ground to cover, and there are just so many colonies. There's a world where maybe Dice can avoid those colonies and a hit top right instead, but he eventually has to deal with this. Eventually. Checkmate anyway with the Sunkens. I mean, like, technically there's a world where if Dice can kill the Mutas, and if Dice can deny mining and then stop any more resources from being gathered, then there's a world where with all these medevacs, he can, like, poke in, do damage, pull away, reheal his army, and eventually kill all these colonies, like, if they're on their own, of course. The issue right now is that because it's an economy, Shin is still building links. Like, he's still making links and still making an army. It's not just the colonies, it's not just the Mutas, it's reinforcements as well. Nada. As lose another Marine, down to 7. 7 Marines left. GG. GG gets called, and Shin, he will take game number, or he will take down Dice here in Golden Wall. Was this game 2? God, I'm just GG. GG, well played. Yeah, as well as game 2. So 2-0 here in favor of Shin. Right, of course. Game 1 was on Vermeer. Game 1 was the Ultralist game. Of course. It's early in the morning, but GG, well played. Shin will claim the series 2-0. Dice, he was able to confirm the Muta play. That is true, but I would say that he was a little bit greedy when it came to his eBay timing. Despite being aware of the Mutas, his turrets were late, his eBay was late. So we saw that the initial Mutas were doing decent amount of damage, of course, and eventually Dice was just forced into 2 base all in. He was just sustaining too many losses with his Marines, his SCVs, and even Widow Mines at times as well. Very impressive control there by Shin with his Mutas. It also helps when it comes to the map itself because of the map layout. It is a short rush distance by air, so Mutas are going to cross the map real fast and real quick, and was able to wreak havoc and allow Shin to mass expand, build up the economy, and get ready for the eventual base trade. GG, well played. And with that, Shin will claim the series. Now we're getting ready for the semi-finals. So Classic will advance on, Shin will advance on. We do have our semis getting ready. It's going to be a semi-finals between Shin and Björn on one side, and Classic and Starat on the other.